check that out. Okay, let's move into our next session. We're going to get to a residential roundtable with 4 great manufacturers. But before introducing our next moderator, we'd like to thank Rheem for sponsoring this roundtable. And we're going to play a 1-minute video about their awesome Proterra water heater. So stick with us, and then we will be right there to introduce our panelists.
The Rheem Proterra Hybrid Electric Heat Pump Water Heater, the most efficient water heater on the market. It was designed for plumbers to be a flexible install and faster to service. With universal side and top water connects, a duct-ready design, and the same footprint as a standard electric model, as well as 0 side clearance requirement, the Proterra Hybrid fits in tight spaces and is easier than ever to install. And it's available in 4 sizes to satisfy nearly any home's hot water needs. The Proterra Hybrid offers up to 4 times the efficiency of a standard electric water heater and significantly reduces energy use. They're faster to service too, with all the serviceable parts located in front, and the unit cover offers quick access to the heat pump. The heat pump system uses heat from the air around the unit or from another location with ducting to efficiently heat water. Warm air passes through the washable filter and over the evaporator coil, where it is absorbed by the refrigerant. The heat is then transferred to the water through the condenser tubing using very little energy overall. All this makes the Proterra Hybrid the smart choice for energy efficiency, faster service, and flexible installation.
All right, well, thanks to Rheem again for sponsoring this manufacturers roundtable. So excited to have some really great manufacturers on, but I'm just going to introduce our moderator for this session, who many of you know, Emily Rosenbloom. She's a senior program manager for heat pump water heaters at the Northwest Energy Efficiency Alliance. She's a great ally in all things water heater related, and we're so lucky to have you as our moderator today. Emily, I'll let you take it away and introduce our panelists.
Thanks, Joe, and thanks everyone for bearing with me as I turned my camera on and off to make sure I had the background correct. I wanted to make sure we had Gadget in the background. So thanks for joining today. We're going to have a roundtable discussion talking about path to innovation. We have 4 wonderful panelists today representing 4 different water heating manufacturers. Although, Joe, maybe we're still waiting for one to join.
Yeah, this is Chris Day. I'm online, but my video is currently blocked by the host.
Okay, well, we can hear you, so we'll keep moving.
Very good.
So we will be discussing some of the same topics that you heard in the last panel in terms of challenges and drivers to heat pump water heater adoption, but the uniqueness of this panel is that this will all be from different manufacturers. So let me introduce our panelists. Go ahead and introduce you, Chris, since you piped up. Chris Day is the Vice President of Product Strategy, Marketing, and Training at Rheem. Chris is responsible for leading the development for Rheem's global water heating business through strategic planning and customer activities. His teams are responsible for evaluating advanced technologies, building roadmaps of the future, and developing products that align with these strategic roadmaps. And Chris has been at Rheem for quite a long time. He joined Rheem around 2016. Right, and we have Matt on here. Great. So Matt Curro is joining us from Navien, and he's been part of Navien for over 14 years. During his time, Matt has worked in several roles, beginning as a service tech and quickly moving up to Canadian trainer. He's currently the North American Training Manager, overseeing academy and field trainings for all of Navien's product lines. Thanks for being here, Matt. And we have Renae on the phone.
Renae may just be audio.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and introduce her for when she joins. Renae is the Director of Heating and Sales at LG Electronic North America. Renae is also very active in her community. She is a member of the National Home Builder Association, Texas Home Builder Association, and the Greater Houston Builders Association. She's one of 7 elected chairs of the whole Home Builder Association and serves on many committees, including education. And then we have Scott Isaksen, who might also be joining just with audio. He is the National Sales Director at Essency Water Heaters. He has worked in water heating for over 20 years. So as you can hear, we have a lot of experience on this panel today. Essency is a hot water innovation company developing products for the US. Their current electric unit is built for high capacity, durability, ease of install, and repairability. And these components and features will be used as a basis for their heat pump water heater, currently in development, that should be released in 2027. All right, great, let's get started. So Joe, I don't know if you want to just send me a message and confirm everyone's here,
Yeah,
or
we're seeing Scott, Emily, and then we'll get I'll just connect with Renae if she's not coming on. So yeah,
okay,
Scott,
great.
Chris, and Matt are here.
Okay, well, let's get started.
I'm on.
So,
Renae is on.
oh, awesome. Hi, Renae. I'm
Good
so glad you're
morning.
here. Good morning, or mid-morning, wherever you are, right? Okay, to start with, we'll start with you, Chris, since you're the first on my screen here. I'm gonna ask you all to provide an answer of what is one misconception about heat pump water heaters that you wish you could change immediately?
That main misconception is that heat pump water heaters don't work well in cold climates. And the data to support that is the state of Maine, that per capita, more heat pump water heaters are used in the state of Maine than any other state in our 50. And so they found great success with it. There's clearly incentives and rebates to support that. But if they didn't work well, the homeowners, no matter how inexpensive the install is, the homeowners wouldn't keep them, and it would not be growing in population the way it is.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I'm always amazed at the numbers coming out of Maine. Matt, can we hand it over to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would actually agree with Chris there 100% on that. That's the biggest misconception that we're seeing as a manufacturer is people are concerned with the cold climates. In addition to the climate itself, there's concern about the actual incoming water temperature being too low and them not being able to recover and provide enough demand to meet customers' needs. As long as the units are sized properly, you know, all the manufacturers here, we have different size equipment to meet customers' needs. We don't really see that as a concern. You know, I do see some questions here, actually came in earlier on how low of a temperature can they operate? You know, manufacturers that we're a little bit different from one another, so I don't want to speak for everyone, but for us and most manufacturers, we can operate with ambient air temperatures around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. I see we got some Canadians on here as well, so that's 5 Celsius as an ambient air temperature coming in. So we're not concerned about those cold temperatures, you know, whether you're in Maine or whether you're in Northern Ontario or joining us from Nova Scotia. We can definitely operate in applications like that.
Thanks, Matt. Scott, I'm not sure if you heard the question, so I'm going to repeat it for you, but we're sharing one misconception about heat pump water heaters that you wish you could change immediately. And Scott, we cannot hear you. I know you were having. Do you want me to go?
Why don't we move and we'll try to troubleshoot Scott's audio.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, Renae, over to you.
Great. I think one of the things that I would say would be they're ugly. Water heaters are ugly. And I will say that LG's got one of the prettiest water heaters on the market. It was developed for the European market. So it was made to be a utility item like a refrigerator. So I think that's one of the misconceptions. The other misconception, my other manufacturer partners answered beautifully, which is that it doesn't work well. And then I think the other thing is the cost. Everyone's afraid of how much the cost is and that it's so much more than an electric product. I think that's another thing that we'll be talking about further in the presentations that we're going to share with you. But it's not cost prohibitive at all. And it saves you so much money on the back end that it more than makes up for itself within the first 2 to 3 years of ownership.
Thanks, Renae. I have to tell you that my young elementary school daughter constantly tells me that she wants a leopard print water heater. So maybe LG can build that into their product line.
I will put that up in our product review next time.
Great. All right. Scott, if you want to put, I know we're struggling with audio. If you want to put your answer in the chat.
I think I'm okay now. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, we can hear you. Great.
Yeah, and all the other answers are great, and I really agree with the cold water misconception. But I think, and Crystal may have touched on it in the previous panel, but installing a heat pump where the current electric water heater is and expecting to get 4x in efficiency or in savings is, I think, the biggest problem that we need to solve. Drop-in replacements, heat pump where an electric used to be, is not necessarily going to get you the savings that the consumer is expecting. So the training around that, whether the unit needs to be ducted, how much airspace it has, those are the things I think we really need to focus on.
Thank you, Scott. I'm so glad we were able to hear you share your response. Okay, moving on to, you know, we need to get these misconceptions taken care of, and I really appreciate what you all highlighted. What do you see as the most promising opportunity driving growth in the heat pump water heater market? And Scott, I'm gonna start with you.
Sure. Well, I'm biased here, but I think more manufacturer options is a big one. You know, the big obvious one, the DOE regulations, the utility rebates are fantastic, but I think more manufacturer options. You know, in the beginning it was just a handful, and now there's a lot. So that's great. The competition breeds innovation, and it also is going to help with the pricing in the end to settle that out. So more manufacturing options is my answer.
Renae, do you want to tackle that one?
Come back to me, please.
Okay, Matt, what's the most promising opportunities driving heat pump water heater growth?
I think the increase of awareness is a big driving factor. You know, events like today where we have, you know, many industry professionals throughout Canada and the US taking part in this. We're looking at increasing incentives, government awareness, and everything that's going on in the different areas. Making it so that homeowners are aware that these products exist and the benefits and the rebates that they can get when they look into this technology. With that, as a manufacturer, you know, Navien's pretty new to the heat pump water heater game, but we're not new to coming out with new technology and promoting it. You know, we've had great success with our other lines over the years. With that, since we're seeing an increase in our contractor base wanting to know more about heat pump water heaters, we're seeing an increase in installers actually want to get trained on the product. To us, that's going to be a huge success and a driving growth for us, where we can educate our installers across North America on these units, how to properly install them, how to properly sell them so that they can successfully make that sale to end users. Large part of my role is, as you saw with that introduction, which I appreciate, was I focus on training. So one of the things that's great within Navien is we will go to contractors' shops throughout North America, hold training right there for them. We'll hold virtual training for them, but also we have 3 training facilities set up so that if somebody wants to come see the units, they want to take it apart, they want to get familiar with it, we do offer that. So, you know, that growth with incentives, driving growth with the contractors is great.
Thank you, Matt. I have one question from the audience that I'm gonna field real quickly. Sorry, just got sent to me, now I can't see it. Okay, we'll come back to it. All right, Chris, moving on to you.
So there's a few key factors that are driving the growth. We shouldn't overlook the energy efficiency. That's a direct translation into cost savings. And given the cost of electricity in certain states within the country, the ROI, and I think Renae might have alluded to this, it's a couple of years. It's 2 to 3 years, and it just gets even better as those electricity rates are higher versus electric resistance. And then there's sustainability. It's a real factor, and so the more that we're shifting away from gas products into electric-based products, and then that efficiency gain, I think full life cycle is heat pumps. There's a lot of homeowners and facility owners that are very, very serious about sustainability and reduction of gas usage. There's the government, whether it's federal, state, local, rebates, tax credits, a variety of different programs out there that are also fueling the affordability on the front end, because as great as the ROI is to 2 to 3 years of the product, there's no doubt that the initial install cost of a heat pump water heater is generally more than most homeowners would realize with an electric resistance tank product. And so these variety of programs, again, at a federal or state or local level, they're help fueling that growth and in driving that initial affordability so the homeowners can enjoy those savings solely on the back end. And then there's this part of demand response. Heat pump water heaters are unique in that they're not only saving energy on the front end due to these efficiencies, but on the back end, when the electric resistance element is needed or useful in a demand response program, the water heater acts as that thermal battery as it should. And so I think programs and homeowners are realizing benefits on both ends there where they're not today with electric resistance products.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, the untapped benefit of the battery of a water heater. And also I hear, you know, Crystal has such a good tagline at the beginning of just, you know, forging ahead. And so it's nice to hear that echoed in some of your answers about the programs that are being run at the state levels. Renae, are you able to join us now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
Thanks for your grace there. Sorry, I'm traveling, if you can tell. I apologize. But this is very important, this discussion. And of course, Heat Pump Water Heater Day is super important, so I couldn't miss it. Okay, so as far as some of the things that I think are misconceptions, and this is in no fault of our contractor base, but they tell homeowners that they're difficult to install. And I think that that's a huge misconception. At the end of the day, this is a water heater, right? That's the thing that I try to tell everyone when I do my training classes is it's a water heater. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a very smart water heater, but it's a water heater at the end of the day. And you're going to install it like a traditional electric tank would be installed with the addition of the condensate line. And that is something that an HVAC contractor can do, a plumbing contractor can do, and in some cases a homeowner, depending on code, of course. So that I think is the biggest misconception first and foremost. And then secondly, it doesn't give you as much hot water as an on-demand system would. And I think we kind of touched on that. Chris kind of touched on that a second ago. And that also I think is a huge misconception because my product's 58 gallon. I have an 80 gallon. My competitors have 40, 50, 65, 80. And I'm in Houston, Texas, as an example. We lose power here regularly. If we lose power, I still have water. If I had an on-demand or a tankless water heating system, I would have no water, right? Because my electricity would be out. So even though it says it's on demand and it's awesome, maybe for a second home or a place that you don't use very often, if this is your primary home and you lose power, you've got that storage tank of water available to you. So I agree with what all of the other panelists said, but those are two additional things that I want to throw out there.
Thank you, Renae. Do you also want to tackle the question of the greatest opportunities?
Oh my gosh, the greatest opportunities. I think that the greatest opportunity is really the buyback on the program, the fact that the utility and regional rebates that are out there from program providers, from the utility companies, as well as just your municipalities, that is a huge opportunity that's out there. I think the places that you can install it is a huge opportunity. I think people misconceive the fact that you can install it in a basement. You absolutely can. I mentioned earlier, I'm in Texas. All of my mechanicals are in the attic. It's an amazing product to put in the attic because it takes the humidity out of the air and drops the dew point a little bit. It's an amazing product to put in a garage. Again, our stuff is in the attic, but my husband has said, I wish it was in the garage because then it would be like I had an air-conditioned garage. Not that it puts off that much cool air, but it drops the humidity because it takes a lot of the moisture out of the air. And so it makes it a comfortable working environment if you have the product in the garage. So I think there's a ton of opportunity. It's just in how you look at it.
Thanks, Renae. Thanks for joining us while you're traveling. There's a question that came in from the audience that if anyone wants to address it, you can just come off mute. The question is the future of air to water monoblock heat pumps that serve as heating, cooling, and domestic hot water, is that an important component to the future? Renae raised her hand. Go ahead, Renae.
Okay, I am so excited about this product. I get so many inquiries about it, and it's an amazing product, really, because you can do so much with it. You can replace your radiant floor heat system with it. You can replace your boiler with it. You can replace baseboard heat with air to water. It's an amazing product. You basically have the outdoor heat pump, right, that you would for any traditional unit, and then you add different components. Now, I get asked this question all the time. Can it heat and cool my pool? The answer is no. It doesn't move enough water to heat and cool your pool, but the technology is amazing, and you can, it's like a Lego system. You can build it out however you would like with different components, controllers, that sort of thing. So I'm not going to say it's the future because it does take some pipe drawings, and you have to have a plan for it. Whereas a heat pump water heater is a direct replacement of your current electric or gas water heater. So I won't say it's going to take the place of, but it certainly gives you a ton of options that you don't have with a traditional water heater.
Thanks, Renae. Chris.
You want to expand on a little bit here, a bit. Is it the future? Not wholly. It's going to be very application based in both of these types of products, whether it's an integrated tank product or a monoblock with an indirect tank. There's going to be a home for both. And based on geography, based on variants of construction, based on whether it's new, retrofit, et cetera, we feel our job at Rheem Manufacturing is to be providing these many solutions in variety of options so that the right application is there and it's ready for the right time. And with said, is a global leader in water heating and air conditioning. Almost all we do in our European entities is manufacture and sell monoblock heat pumps. Of course, there's gas products as well, but when it comes to heat pumps, Europe is largely skipping over integrated tank systems. So we've got a lot of experience with monoblocks and the indirect tank systems and the control sensors, et cetera, ready to drive it. So we continue to look at North America as the next place for some penetration and growth of that technology. But the adoption rate will be slower than the integrated tank systems because of the tens of millions of integrated tanks that are out there in the market today. The replacement of those products, it's paramount that we have something that's easier to install than the monoblock systems.
Great, thanks, Chris. Yeah, it's part of the solution, and I'm glad that there's a lot of excitement around it, but we can't forget about all of our integrated tanks out there. Matt or Scott, I don't know if you want to address that. If not, I have another question for you.
That was well addressed. It's definitely there's a promising future to it. It's just as of today, not the solution for everybody. Keep in mind the piping as well as the upfront cost. There's already a lot of concern with the cost of just the heat pump water heater. When we look at a combination system with a monoblock, that's definitely a concern as well.
Okay, Scott, I have a question for maybe that you can start with. A little take on some of the questions I'm seeing in the chat, but what new technology development should we expect in the next 3 to 5 years that you think are really going to be a big factor in driving this market?
Well, I think developing a product around the challenges and the complaints that the existing technology has and has had for a while. So there are things that can't be changed or can't be solved in one product. But you get the complaints about the height, the weight, the noise, the vibration, and sometimes all of the infrastructure changes around the product that may need to be implemented to be able to get the heat pump in where the old electric resistance product was. And so just designing around those things, keeping those things in mind, the challenges that we currently have when you're developing new products.
Thanks, Scott. Does anyone else want to tackle that one? What are the technology developments you expect to see maybe from your own organizations the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I can.
Emily, I will. Go ahead.
No, it's all right, Renae. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
All right. Well, Rheem, we're on our 5th generation heat pump water heater. It's the pioneer of the technology. And so every generation, we do what, Scott was really alluding to. We work with contractors, plumbers, distributor partners, certainly homeowners, facility owners when used in commercial applications. And we continue to evaluate those major pain points. And when it comes to efficiencies of the product, I would say that we're generally in a good place. I think when we look across the pool of manufacturers, all of us are in a good place when it comes to the efficiencies that we're currently operating at and the cost savings that are there to show it. There's other livability factors. There's certainly noise. Now, it's not to say that products are noisy. It's just different. A heat pump water heater makes noise. A gas water heater or an electric resistance water heater does not make noise unless there's a problem. And so things like that, I think we will continue to look at and innovate and evolve in order to drive increased homeowner satisfaction. And I think from an install perspective, there's certainly a lot of discussion within the plumber space, and even in some of the sessions earlier today that I was able to listen in on. Installability is still a question. We're going to continue to look at that and drive for the easiest, most efficient, and most affordable install that we think we can get to.
Thanks, Chris. Renae?
So you were specifically asking about technology, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So as far as technology goes, I think that making it easier for the homeowner to operate all of their products and pieces. At LG specifically, we have a ThinQ app. Most of my other manufacturers on this call have an app as well. I think what makes us unique is you can operate your water heater, you can have information on your refrigerator, your stove, your washer, your dryer, all on one app. And I really think that's where the technology is going. With our water heater, as an example, and again, my manufacturer friends on this call are similar, you can control the different modes that your water heater runs in. You can check the capabilities of it. You can moderate it to see what kind of energy efficiency you're getting, those sorts of things. It will also tell you if there's any kind of issues with the water heater. That will alert your contractor if he is also dialed in to your unit, and they can send any part or piece that they may need for any LG appliance that you have in your home, including your water heater, directly to the homeowner. So I think that's where technology is going specifically. I mean, I can address all the other things similar as well, but I think just from a technology standpoint, it's just making it easier for the homeowner to control all of their products in one feature.
Great, so I'm hearing some themes here. Ease of install to ensure affordable for the customer, making sure products are connected and customers can understand how their product is performing, and improvements in technology for some of those components that we don't, or characteristics that we don't expect on a water heater, such as sound. Did I miss anything? Did you want to add anything, Matt?
Yeah, so to add that, I think what we'll also see is additional accessories come out for homeowners so that they enjoy the experience of having that heat pump water heater even more. For example, that next month Navien specifically is coming out with a recirculation kit. Just like all of manufacturers, we all have apps for controlling heat pump water heaters, but it'll be easy to program right from that app from the for the end user as well. So we don't have to get the contractor out there to actually do the setup. They'll do the install of it, but it's something if the homeowner wants to change the programming, easily adapt it to meet their needs. There'll be water shutoffs, other accessories like that. But on top of that, with the technology of the actual heat pump water heaters, Navien right now, we're in our stage of our first heat pump water heater for North America. Over the next years, I'm sure we'll make improvements as technology changes, whether we get a quieter compressor or a quieter fan, able to get more output on a lower voltage, something like that. But one of the things that Navien's trying to do to make our units different from other competitors to trying to make sure that we have great ROI on the product is we've eliminated the anode. So having technology where we don't need anodes anymore, and instead just an all stainless steel construction in the tank. So it should last, well beyond what that warranty is listed at.
Thank you, Matt. That actually leads nicely into the next question. These are, we're a little off script here at team, so thanks for sticking with me. I'm taking the questions that are coming in. There's some questions around cost, which, we hear a lot, and about the tax credit going away and how that's going to affect things. So my question for you all is, do you expect to see like a baseline model come heat pump water heater in the next 3 to 5 years? So right now, what we see are these, some of you spoke to this, high efficiency, lots of components that allow them to connect to the internet and allow the user to control them remotely. Do you see a base model coming to market?
I see potentially a lower cost down the road. It's hard to say what the features would be of it. We initially were actually planning on, when we launched it, having kind of like a builder grade model that was kind of stripped down. You couldn't have any accessories to it, no Wi-Fi, any of that. But then when we look at the requirements out there in the industry and wanting to have similar selling features to other units, it doesn't really make sense to offer that unit at this time. So that's something that later on in the future we may come out with it. But when we try to come up with units that meet NEEA tier 4 and all those other requirements out there, kind of need to have a lot of those features that Navien as well as the other manufacturers currently offer.
Thanks, Matt. Does anyone want to take that one, or should we move on?
If I can just share with you that LG's got what I'm going to call and what Matt just called a builder grade, I guess is the best way of saying it. We purchased a tank manufacturer here in the United States. So we are going to have a builder grade model made here in the US come next year. We'll be showing that at AHR in February. And it is just that. It's going to be builder grade, steel tank, no anode rod. It's still going to have our inverter technology, so it will remain the quietest one on the market. But it will be a Me Too product as far as the UEF goes. So the UEF will only meet the tier 4 standard. It won't be anything, to write home about. We are coming out with our current product that's going to be elevated to a higher UEF, more quiet, and also a better first hour rating. But yes, to your point, we do see that this is where the market's going. Come 2029, we're being told we have to be there. So we want to make sure, LG wants to make sure that we have the price point to meet everyone's needs. We don't want to cut someone out of the industry technology by having it priced too high. So we'll have a builder grade, and then we'll have one that is the appliance, good looking water heater as well.
Yeah, I can comment. Well, I can only comment on what we have today at Rheem Manufacturing, but there are tiers already within our portfolio. So I know the word builder grade has been used by, Matt and Renae. We're already there. We have those products. We have 120 volt models. We have 240 volt models, and so the features and benefits and the differences amongst those tiers. We're there at this point. So we encourage all of you to spend some time on our website, take a look at those.
Thanks, Chris. Scott, I don't know if you want to take that one. If not, I have another question that you can kick us off with.
Let's start with the next question.
All right, this is a fun one. So what's the strangest place you've seen a heat pump water heater installed and didn't work where it was installed? You can just say water heater if you want to, but.
Yeah, water heater. I mean, in Texas, Renae knows this, other people know this, in the attic, above the master bedroom is always an interesting place to put the water heater. But heat pump wise, yeah, putting, ducting a unit to where it shouldn't be ducted to, or bringing in the makeup air from where it shouldn't be brought in from. And it's people expecting, again, kind of to a point from earlier, expecting it to get the efficiency and the savings that they're looking for, just dropping it in where it used to be is sometimes works, but other times it doesn't.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, above the master bedroom. That's a good marketing campaign waiting to happen, of convincing early retirement so you don't have a leak above your bedroom. Anybody else want to take that one?
Sure, I'll take this on. It's similar scale to the cold air that gets produced by the product. We've seen that actually used in the water heater, heat pump water heater, intentionally placed in areas. When it is in a garage, it was intentionally used to help cool that garage for summer use, not just for vehicle parking, but to enjoy that additional space. We've seen that cold air used and ducted into a wine cellar in a basement. They need condition cooling as well, so I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
That's a great use. I love that. Renae?
So I think I shared this with you, Emily, but I'll just tell the group here. So we actually have someone who built basically an outdoor shower enclosure outside, and to put their water heater out there, because we do have manufacturers who have an outdoor component with an indoor storage tank, but typically these residential units are meant to be installed inside. And so they retrofitted, basically built a three-sided cubby hole, if you will, like an outdoor shower would look, and put the water heater out there. So it definitely had a top and three sides, and that's how they enclosed it. Now, it certainly worked. There wasn't an issue with it, but I would be afraid, like if there was a flood or, there was tremendous winds or something. But yeah, it was very funny, the installation, because at first I really thought it was an outdoor shower, but no, it was just their water heater closet.
It was serving their shower, just not an outdoor shower.
Right. That's exactly right.
Matt, to you?
I haven't seen anything too odd or crazy with heat pump water heaters. I've definitely seen my fair share of tankless and other products installed in odd places. But nothing too crazy for the heat pumps.
Probably good. We keep it in the safe places. Okay, we have one last question. We're not ending on a negative note here, but the question is, what is the biggest challenge currently hindering the growth of the heat pump water heater market? And the positive part of this is, how can industry stakeholders collaborate to overcome these challenges? So I'm really looking to understand, what is the challenge and How can we work together to overcome them? And let's go ahead and start with you, Matt.
Sure. I'd say the biggest challenge that I've come across is misunderstanding of the product and people making statements and have an attitude like that'll never work here. As Chris mentioned, in Maine and some contractors' attitudes in different areas, trying to overcome that is definitely a concern. For us, what we're trying to do to overcome that is make sure we're properly educating contractors and wholesalers and distributors, anybody in the industry, on all aspects of the product. Exactly how it works. I see some questions here about switching to electric, for example, and yes, about 40 degrees, it does switch to electric. So being completely open on how this technology works and making sure people understand that, that to us is key. To me, the big thing for the industry is we need to continue to work together to educate customers on the unit and, look at this as not that we're competing against one another, just trying to promote the overall technology of the heat pump water heaters.
Thanks, Matt. Scott?
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what Matt was saying. I think cost is the big challenge, right? I mean, if the cost is lower, then a lot of the other things can be overlooked, I think. But kind of to Matt's point is the attitudes about how to install the product or how difficult it might be to install the product, but overcoming, I think, the reputation of the water heater, the heat pump water heater. The tankless guys went through that years ago. If a gas tankless was installed improperly, every other gas tankless they ever saw, a contractor or homeowner, is a bad gas tankless. So I think the reputation of the heat pump water heater has taken a hit in a similar fashion. So people just look at the heat pump water heater as a problematic water heating technology. But like Matt said, again, through education and information, and I think the key word he used was transparency about what you're going to get, what to expect when a heat pump water heater is installed in a particular way. So I think that's a big thing that we need to collaborate on to make sure people understand what they're getting. And in the end, a heat pump water heater, it must be durable, it must be repairable, and it must meet the expectations of the end user.
Thanks, Scott. Chris?
Yeah, it's a lot about workforce development. It's an area where we can absolutely be working together. I mean, it's the core technology of what makes a heat pump water heater different than traditional electric resistance water heaters. Through expansion of training programs, certifications, getting installers, whether they're contractors or plumbers, more comfortable with the use of the product, in ensuring that they feel well equipped to even propose it is a solution. So we're investing a significant number of dollars just within Rheem, but also nationally through training programs and generalized workforce development programs to build up that confidence of the contractor and plumber community, and then also they can help build up that consumer confidence.
Thanks, Chris. I definitely echo all of those. Renae, do you want to share your perspective on that?
I think the only thing I'm going to add, because I agree with my panelists on all the things that they said, and I don't want to repeat any of those because they were said beautifully. The only other thing I'll add is I think the big, beautiful bill cutting out the 25C and the 45L tax credits have scared people. We were starting to get momentum with those because they saw that they could get a tax credit. And even if they did not understand exactly what that meant to get a tax credit, it still sounded like a savings to them. And so we were getting momentum. And then when that went away, or is going away at the end of the year, I think that scared a lot of people. So I think one of the things we can do is to continue to work with our builders associations. As you know, I'm really active in that, talking with our legislators about the importance of these credits and these rebates. And then to everyone else's point that they already shared, that is to continue to educate our contractors in the ease of installation of this. It really is not a hard product to install. It's very much like its younger cousin, that being the electric product. And so I think that all these things can be overcome. It's just going to take education and time, and just like the tankless did, and just like our ductless heat pump brethren, right, on the other side of the room, the HVAC side of the room. You know, it just takes time to make change in the industry, and we'll get there. It's just going to take us a little bit.
Thanks, Renae. It's not always the case, but I'm very grateful that we all are on the same page about some of the things that need to be tackled and we need to work together on around education and transparency about what the product is and how it performs, so that, you know, if someone expects that electric resistance water heater that's sitting in the closet, no one ever knew it even existed, the heat pump water heater is going to be more efficient, provide hot water, but it's going to be a little bit different. So ensuring that installers are trained, that they know how to talk to their customers and how to sell the product. And Renae, you had a really great point too about continuing to talk to our legislators about the importance of this product and supporting it and tax credits. I think that was also a really interesting point, Renae, that you raised around the tax credit going away. Not everyone even knew what that was, right? And whether or not they even saw the real benefit. You have to have a tax liability, but it was the government supporting the product, and it was marketing, right? The people were talking about heat pump water heater. So we need to now all continue in that absence. Well, thank you all for being here. This has been really wonderful. I appreciate your time. Happy Heat Pump Water Heater Day. And I will hand it back over to Joe.
Woohoo! Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, thanks, Renae. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Christopher. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Scott. Thank you, Emily, as well. Fantastic residential manufacturer roundtable. Great insights on what are the challenges and how folks are overcoming those. Really, really appreciate that. Just a reminder, folks, we will be sending out the slides and recording. Give us a couple days after Heat Pump Water Heater Day, but all of these sessions will be up on our website, and we'll send them to you as well. So lots of great things to listen to again and again.